Hi everyone, and welcome to my Alaska journey. I'm glad you've joined in. Come along with me as we explore the port of Sitka without really having a plan. Let's go see what we can find to do. On a previous trip to Sitka, we had a very planned trip with a local guide who took us to Tongass National Forest, traveled through a little bit of trails, and we saw salmon spawning. We also visited the Fortress of the Bear, which is a facility for some rescued bears, and you can see black bears and brown bears and watch them interact. After that, he dropped us off in town where we could have some free time to explore, touring one of the churches and eating at one of the restaurants and doing some shopping. Walking around some of the neighborhoods in the area to see what I could find. But this time I wanted to go without a plan, find out just what a person could do if they got off the ship and went to explore. Enjoying an early morning sail in at Sitka. We're still a little ways out, but aren't these views absolutely gorgeous? That little spot where a sliver of the sun broke through the clouds to reflect in the water. The clear, calm water, the clouds with the snow-capped mountains above. Ah, what a glorious creation to behold. Here comes the harbor pilot. They have dropped him or her off with our ship, and the pilot's boat is heading back to port. I enjoy the activities and scenery during a sail-in. A balcony is really enjoyable at this time, but there are other good spots on the ship to take in the views during a sail-in too, if you don't have a balcony or if you just want a different view. Our ship sails in really slowly and makes only gentle ripples in the water. See that other cruise ship in the distance? That is a Holland America ship, and we will be docking next to it. But we have to sail around these little islands to get to the port. Guess I need to go over to the port side to see the rest of the docking process. We have made the turn into the harbor, and I can see the Holland America ship and the pier where we will be docking. Looks like the ship is the Eurodam. That is a beautiful ship, but it is much smaller than ours. Our ship makes that one look pretty tiny in comparison. They arrived first and have already started disembarking passengers. If I were on that ship, I would be rushing to get off the ship before this giant ship unloads all her guests. The port at Sitka has a shuttle ticket process to try to regulate the numbers of people using their shuttle system. Our ship gave information about the shuttle ticket process and issued shuttle tickets on board, and they announce when guests can get off the ship by order of the shuttle tickets. I got tickets. Since I am in no rush, it didn't really matter to me what my ticket number was, but if you're taking a tour that meets in downtown Sitka, you will need to be in line in advance of the ticket handout time in order to get a low ticket number. Here is a bird's eye view of the port area from one of the upper decks of the ship. There's a pinkish colored bridge ramp that leads from the pier to the shore. This pink ramp is steeper than it looks from this angle. The kiosk here has some maps of Sitka and was staffed with some tourist personnel. This building in the foreground has some shops and a restaurant and a steep covered walkway up to the shuttle pickup area. The building farthest away has some meet-up areas, gift shop, cafe, and behind it is the motor coach loading area for tours, as well as the shuttle drop-off area when returning to port. If I pan over to my left, there are some guests with a cruise-offered shore excursion boarding an excursion boat right here. This ramp appears to be very steep, and a little further on is a second ramp to a couple of other smaller excursion boats. This port is also a shipping port. Let me focus more on the immediate port area. The man pushing a wheelchair emphasizes the steepness of that pink ramp. The blue building is a tiny souvenir shop. The gray building at the top of the pink ramp is the security building for guests coming back to the ship. You will need your ship card and your government ID as you re-enter here. The blue awning gives a little protection from the weather while you're in line. The rust-covered building is an information kiosk, and there are several vendors selling last-minute tours lined up to the right of the path toward the shuttle boarding area. Our ship is still trying to get the gangways ready to debark passengers. The crew has their responsibilities synchronized and they get everything ready, making sure the gangways are safe, setting up a tent, sending shore excursions personnel to their places, and then the much-awaited announcement that passengers can now disembark. And off they go. By 9:37, our ship was calling for shuttle tickets 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Our passengers disembark and merge in with Holland America passengers, who should have gotten off earlier to beat our crowd. I'm going to explore on my own today, but I'm going to wait till that crowd goes down. I don't want to have to stand in a long line to get on a shuttle, so it's my hope in about an hour that most of the crowds will have dissipated and the shuttle will be easy to find. Looks like I did not wait long enough to avoid lines. This whole line is for the shuttle to downtown. I did slip out of line to pick up a map of Sitka from the information booth while my husband saved my place. If you are not taking the shuttle, just go around the line to the information booth or to go up the hill for the tours that leave from there. As we waited in the shuttle line, we saw people walking to the right and talking to the tour vendors. And at the top of the hill, I see a sign for tour check-in and a tourist information area, as well as additional vendors standing outside offering tours. We finally made it to the top of the ramp, and then we have to enter a queue. Feels like Disney World. We do finally make it to the shuttle bus. Our driver gives us safety information and tells us what to expect.
Sitka, I explained Sitka, Alaska to you guys. I'll help you out. I'll tell you guys about some of the scenery, right? Make it a little easier for you guys to navigate through downtown. Almost like you live here. So you guys ready to roll?
We are dropped off at the Visitor Information Center, where there are public restrooms, a small museum, and outside more tour vendors. Downtown is fun. Almost immediately I saw the entrance to a movie theater, which would be great for people that were staying here overnight. There are folks getting salmon from the food truck, a sign directing us to the Burger and Crab Shack, and this interesting sign offering hot dogs, cold drinks, and Dramamine. I guess they recognized a marketing opportunity in an area where a lot of people get on small boats. St. Michael's Cathedral was open for visitors, and the main downtown street was closed to traffic and welcoming to visitors. I was greeted by a bear and listened to some street performers. Here is a soup vendor tent in the street, and there are king crab legs available in Fisherman's Alley. The poppies are in bloom, and I notice a monument in the distance. It is called the Prospector. The inscription reads, "There is gold, and it's haunting and haunting. It's luring me on as of old. Yet it isn't the gold I am wanting so much as just finding the gold." This monument sits on the grounds of the Alaska Pioneers Home, which is a senior living facility. There's a gift shop inside with several items, some handmade by the residents, and I picked up a chocolate bar made in Alaska, and the price was actually less than most of the gift shops for the same thing. Toward the end of the pedestrian street, I found a sign for Baranof Castle. It gives the option to take the stairs or a path. I think I'm going to take the path. Let's see how that goes. I'm really glad I took the long way. It brings me to this site that I'm not sure I would have seen from the street if I had taken the stairs. And it was a prime opportunity with no crowds to get a picture of myself with the sign. I sat on the bench to rest for a while and soak in this peaceful tranquility. While you enjoy the video, I will recite the rest of the quote that was on the Prospector monument from before. "It's the great big broad land way up yonder. It's the forest where silence has least its beauty that fills me with wonder. It's the stillness that fills me with peace." Okay, my rest is over. It's time to cross the street and take the path to Castle Hill. There are some signs explaining the history of the area spanning 3 eras: the Tlingit people, the Russians, and the Americans. Looks like quite the path to the top. The walkway is maintained well, a little steep in some places. Occasionally there will be a staircase shortcut and places where one can see the original gravel path. I believe someone in a scooter could successfully conquer this path because the ramp does go all the way to the top. I would not, however, want to use a walker due to the steepness and would definitely not want to push someone in a wheelchair because the path is a pretty good distance. Fortunately, there's an occasional bench along the way if someone needed a break. I finally make it to the top. read some more information placards, and enjoy the views. Honestly, I think the views were better from down below. I take the stairway down and already know where it is going to come out, so I don't have to consult my map. Next, my explorations took me to the Totem Park, where people are enjoying the sunshine. From here, I found the Tribal Community House, where they have tribal dance performances. Often there's a ship's excursion, which will include a stop here. The billboard says the next performance will be at 3:30 p.m., but that will be too late for me to get back to the ship. I did take a look inside at the gift shop, and they allowed me in the theater area so I could see the setup. I continued on down Catlin Street to look at views along the harbor until I came upon this unique place. Some locals happened by and recommended it, said it was the best fried fish around. It's kind of off the beaten path, and if I had happened on it sooner, I would have liked to have given it a try. From here, everything looked like businesses along the waterfront, so I decided to turn around and head back toward downtown and the Shuttle. Whew, time to sit down and take a breather and just enjoy the scenery. The Shuttle dropped off in this lot, and I walked through the building where the tour meeting area is and avoided the lure of the roasted nut shop and the coffee shop, and then head toward my awaiting ship. Overall, what did I think about Sitka? Well, let me tell you, but first, let me ask you if you'll subscribe to my video channel. If you will subscribe, it just puts me in your notifications feed so that you will find my videos easier, and it lets YouTube know, hey, Shirley's Journeys is a pretty neat channel, and it will show my videos to other people as well. It really helps me out if you'll subscribe. Thanks in advance. Now, what did I think of Sitka? Love the little town. It has so much that you can explore just right there in the downtown area on your own. In the tribal community house, they told me that if you happen to show up there and there are seats available, even if there's an excursion planned, they will sell you tickets to those available seats. So that might be something to keep in mind if you kind of scout out and know when an excursion might be coming into there. As far as mobility is concerned, Sitka has a good bit of walking. While it is docked right there at the cruise terminal with the little shops and all, there's steep hills, steep ramps. Keep that in mind when you are planning if you have mobility issues or going with someone with mobility issues. This was just a day to explore and enjoy just what I could find to enjoy. This is Shirley with Shirley's Journeys, and I hope all of your journeys are pleasant ones.